problem that affects thousands of people, and the numbers of women dealing with sleep eating is quickly growing.
Deb Reed with the Sleep Wellness Institute joins us this morning. Deb, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Yeah, I know, exactly. We've talked about this issue a lot because Cassandra has had a little bit of this.
And I bravely admit it.
Good, good.
I eat crackers in my sleep. I do.
Yeah, but what are the real warning signs? I mean, sometimes we joke around about it, but this is a serious subject.
It can be a serious subject. There really are two different manifestations. One of them, you're awake and you're aware, and it's more like binge eating. It tends to be something akin to a food or an eating disorder. The other, you're asleep. You have no idea what you're doing until you awaken the next day and you're surrounded by dirty dishes in your bedroom and crumbs in your bed and empty packages on the floor.
She looks at me.
Well, no, because I haven't heard her say anything like that, but that's almost like significant. That's sleepwalking.
Well, it's a combination of walking and eating together because you have to sleepwalk to get to the kitchen. But these people are the ones who are sleeping, at least, are very goal-oriented. They'll ask their friends to lock them in their rooms, and they'll break the doors open. There have been people who've had locks on their refrigerator doors and found ways to break that open.
Wow. While asleep?
While asleep, totally asleep. And they're eating very bizarre combinations of foods. Buttered cigarettes.
Oh.
I know,
That's
really.
not even a food.
No, it isn't. Or they'll put all kinds of bizarre things in a blender and eat it all together.
Oh.
Or the birthday cake they were waiting to save for the next day is gone, and of course somebody else has eaten it, but there's nobody else in the house, so it comes down to them.
A whole cake.
Right, exactly, a whole cake at a time.
Well, my situation is not that
dramatic.
Bad. Is this something that evolves over time? Why do I do this? Do we do this?
When you're awake and you're eating, it truly seems to be an eating disorder. When you're asleep and you're eating, it's a combination of something called a parasomnia, meaning something that happens while sleeping, and an eating disorder. The night-related sleep eating disorder can be treated with medication.
There's a pill.
There is a pill. There is a pill.
But that's interesting.
Sometimes, not everybody responds to it, and it tends to be secondary to something else. There's something else going on in your life, some sort of stressor or something, and it could be a good stress or a bad stress, but it's something that will push you in that direction. If you're awake and you're eating, those folks tell me that they cannot fall asleep until they've gotten up and eaten something. And then they go back to bed, and that might happen every hour all night long.
Is that like a pattern that they've become addicted to?
I don't think that you can even call it an addiction. It's an urge, like any other binge eating would be an urge. You have to go and do it, or any other kind of an urge that's so overwhelming that you can't control it at all, and you have to work on it. You have to move on it. You have to deal with it and eat whatever it is that your body or your brain or whatever is
So how do you treat that kind? Yes. How do you treat the urge?
That's more related to psychotherapy. That you have to go in and kind of and work through what the stressors are that are pushing you to that point.
You know, I always thought, I think about when I babysat for my nieces and nephew, and their mother would send with them oatmeal to give them right before they went to bed so they could sleep with something on their stomach. And I wonder, when I look at that, was that something that my mother did also? Because it certainly mellows me out, and I'm feeling that.
Right.
Now, I won't eat breakfast. I really watch what I eat throughout the day, and I try and work out.
I think you're hungry.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like I said, after 9 o'clock, I'd bite you if you were rugged.
Right. Well, and that's very typical. People who have the night eating disorder tend to get most of the 25% of their calories after 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock at night. They tend to skip breakfast because they have eaten through the night. Weight gain is a significant problem for them because they're eating things. Well, you're taking care of yourself because you have to be aware. But you know, a lot of people are eating things that they shouldn't be eating, and so they're gaining weight. It's a chronic, long-term thing. It's not something that just magically happened. It tends to happen early in life, and then you know, as a teenager, for instance, and then continuing on through life. So some of it's habitual, I suppose, but I think it's become more than just a habit. I don't think it's like like, I don't know, whatever a habit would be that you
But
can
it's
break.
not unsurmountable. Insurmountable. There is
No, there is
help.
right. There is help. It is not insurmountable. A lot of times we like to do a sleep study because some of the time the parasomnia component, especially where you're doing things in your sleep,
where
there
you
could
guys
be
can
things,
watch them on video, see exactly what they're doing.
Exactly. And watching the brain waves. But I mean, some people aren't breathing well when they're sleeping, and that's waking them up. So
And
that might trigger it. Right. Exactly. Or if you're not getting peaceful sleep, then that might make you be more inclined to get up out of bed and walk in your sleep or go into the kitchen.
So there's a lot to do with this.
Absolutely.
They need to have a study.
Absolutely.
If you're experiencing any of this, go in and have a study. Deb, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
We
My
really
pleasure.
appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
We're going to be checking in with Tony next.
All right.
Yeah. He's eating.
Yes, he's eating, but he's awake. It helps.